Assalamu alaikum. Welcome everyone to our lesson for today for the first intermediate grade for the first semester of this year. Our subject, as you know, is the English language from the book Full Blast 1. Our lesson for today is 3C timeouts. This is the second part. Today we have grammar and write. This whole presentation is prepared and it will be presented to you by Sultan Shahran. So, first of all, thank you very much, all of you, for being with me. It's a pleasure to be with a brilliant student like you. The second thing, I want to make sure that you understand our book is Full Blast 1. Okay, it is not the Super Goal, it is the Full Blast. Full Blast 1. The second thing, I want to ask you, are you ready to begin our lesson? Everyone, are you ready? Very nice, let's go. Today we will learn present simple with questions, with WH questions. Okay, so we will talk about the present simple tense. The present simple tense with exactly, we will talk about it with WH questions. Okay, with WH questions, we mean by WH questions the questions that start with where, when, who, how, and these questions. Okay, the second thing, we will write about what you do or don't do. What you do or don't do. Okay, so we will write a paragraph, or you can say a sentences, small sentences about what you do, and other small sentences about what you don't do. What's the other things that you don't do. Okay, first of all, we will talk about the grammar. We have, as we said before, present simple tense with WH questions. Present simple with WH questions. Some people will say, excuse me, what do you mean by present simple? What is present simple? So at first we have to know what do we mean by present simple. The present simple, it means that we use the present simple for habits or actions that happen regularly. Habits or actions that happen regularly, that happen all the time, every day, every week, maybe every year. So it happens, okay, regularly, okay, all the time. For example, I say, I watch TV every day. Can you see it? Every day, regularly. I watch TV. Okay, so now we understand what do we mean by present simple. The second thing, okay, now we know what do we mean by present simple. This is the present simple tense. Okay, this is what we mean by present simple tense. Okay, now how can we make WH questions in the present simple tense? We use at first the WH word, the WH question word, like where, when, what, why, who, and so on. Okay, after that, do or does, and you have to know that if we have a subject and it is singular subject, we use does. If we have plural subject, we use do. Okay, do or does. Do for plural, more than one thing or more than one person, 2, 3, 4, 5, and does for singular, for one thing, one person. After that, the subject. Then after that, the verb in the base form. We don't add anything, we don't change anything. Keep it as it is. For example, where, WH, does, we don't use do, we didn't use do. Okay, we use does because he is singular, one, he does. Okay, watch TV. Where does he watch TV? Where does he watch TV? There is another question. Where, WH, do This is do. We didn't use does. You know why? Because we have they. They with do. He with does. Okay? Where do they watch TV? Where do they watch TV? Okay? Another question. What time do you have dinner? What time? This is WH. Do. Can you see it? Because we have you. This is the subject, you. Okay, it's just like the plural. You and I, we used them in the most of the grammar rules, just like the plural. Have dinner. Have dinner. Okay. The answer at 6 p.m. Another question. When do you play baseball? At the weekend. At the weekend. Okay. So there are two important things that you have to know. What do we mean by present simple? The present simple is the actions or habits or actions that happen regularly. How can we make WH questions in the present simple tense? WH word or WH question word. After that, do or does. Does with the singular, do with the plural. After that, the subject. After that, the verb in the base form. The verb in the base form. Okay? Very nice. Okay, we have an evaluation. Circle the correct words. Number 1. When or what? When or what do you do in your free time? So what do you think? Should we say when or what? Listen, we have to read the answer. If you want to choose correctly, some of you will say when, some of you will say what. So let's read the answer. I read magazines. I read magazines. So we have to say, what do you think, when or what? There is no time here. We didn't talk about any time. He didn't answer anything about the time. So we have to say, what? What do you do in your free time? I read magazines. Exactly. Number 2. When, what time does Saud surf the net? As I said before, you have to read the answer. In the evening. In the evening. So, should we say when or what time? What time is exactly the time. We talk about the exact time. But when, it's in general, it's periods. What do you think? When or what time? When, exactly. When I say what time does Saud serve the net, we have to say, for example, in the evening, so we have to say at 8 p.m., at 7 p.m., at 9 in the evening. 9, 8, 7. It's exactly the time, the exact time. We have to use what time. Okay. Number 3. What time do you get up in the morning? Should we use do or without do? No do. What time you get up in the morning? What time do you get up in the morning? We're talking about the present, and we're talking about the present simple. So should we use do or does or without do or does? What do you think? Yes, we have to use it. Do or does. So in this case, we have to say, what time do you get up in the morning? What time do you get up in the morning? At 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock. Number 4. What sports Ben plays? Does Ben play? The answer, volleyball and tennis. There does or without does. It's the same tense. Present simple. No does or with does. What do you think? No do or with do. We said this one we should use do, and this one We should use does. Exactly. What sports does Ben play? Volleyball and tennis. Very nice. Go to pages from 157 to 159 for extra grammar practice. If you want to practice more, if you want more exercise, go to these pages from 157 to 159. Right. Now let's go to write. Write sentences about what you do or don't do or don't do in your free time. What do you do in your free time? What do you don't do in your free time? What do you think? Can you do it? Very nice. Okay, I'll give you some examples. I want you to write as many sentences as you can. 5 with do, 5 with don't do, maybe 10 with do, 10 with don't do, as much as you can, as many as you can, okay? For example, I wrote these 4 sentences, 2 with do and 2 without do, or with don't, 2 with don't. In my free time, I play football. I meet my friends. I don't play video games. I don't use the computer. Okay? Maybe you can do it just like question and answer. So for example, what do you do in your free time? Okay? I play football. Do you meet your friends in your free time? Yes, I do. Okay? Like this, you can make yes and no questions. So when we finish our lesson, I want you to do these sentences, or maybe you can do it as a question. As I said before, do as much as you can, okay? When we finish, don't forget, it's just like a homework. Do as many sentences as you can. 10, 15, 20 sentences, okay? Today we learned number 1, present simple with WH questions. Number 2, write about what you do or don't do, okay? So this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much all of you for being with me. I hope I see you next time. Don't forget the homework, the writing, the sentences. I hope I see you next time. This is Sultan Shahrani. Goodbye everyone.